Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else you want to call yourself. We have Doku here. He has his usual collections of opinions. They are going to be nice and polite, and we're not going to say anything bad at all, or at least not for 5 minutes. So, hello, Doku. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. It's been a while since we've done one of these. And I was about to ask, why are you lying to our audience? But that the family friendly 5 minutes. Nice save there.
Fair, fair. Well, there's still burning time. So, is there anything you would like to say to the wonderful people? After all, no swearing is allowed.
I know it's the bane of my existence. Censorship. I I'm gonna have to be more creative about how I engage in language and discourse.
Just remember one thing, YouTube is an American company, and some strange idiot told me that America was the land of the free. Do I start laughing now or later?
Uh, and I'm not even gonna get into that one.
And wasn't there something about your First Amendment was about oh, no, that's right. Your First Amendment was about not saying anything unless you're told to by your betters. I understand.
I mean, I could bring up that your government's arresting people over being offended over tweets, but we're pretending to have a First Amendment right when we really don't. But I'm a private company and everything. I guess.
Yeah.
I, I don't know. It's a weird dichotomy that's going on. We live in.
Use the Chinese curse. It's acceptable. We live in interesting times.
Yeah, and it fits. It fits. I can't really argue with it. Even though I want to, I can't. Not in good faith, at least.
I'd just like to say, hello, Ogre. Long time no see, mate. Glad you're here.
Oh yeah, I'm being rude and remiss as co-host. Susan, Matt, Sean, and Ogre, what's up? Thank you for joining. Again, we're just killing time because
YouTube.
yeah, Overlord Susan doesn't want us to say anything bad or mean or offensive or
Anything.
wouldn't be allowed on YouTube Kids for the first 5 minutes. But apparently after 5 minutes and 1 second, you can just pretty much go all out.
We do. Let's break this down here. We do. Okay?
Still surprised I haven't banned our channel. I'll be perfectly honest.
Do you want truth? So do I. Well, Shirati suggested I go jump off a cliff.
Hey, I don't have any cliffs around me, but I believe you live on an island. There's quite a few cliffs.
If you think I'm going to travel all the way down to Dover just to jump off the cliff, no. No, nice concept.
It's just skydiving. It's a vacation.
It could be argued it's swimming if I jump far enough out.
Yeah, you do have an argument there.
I mean, if I mess it up, there are these wonderful things called rocks. At which point, we also get to do a thing that also YouTube really hates to mention, involving self-termination. See, they can't touch you for that.
No, it's just a very deep muscle massage.
That's an interesting concept.
A very, very deep muscle massage.
I wonder if I can talk people into that. I may have to consider it.
I really need to learn to keep my mouth shut.
Now, there's only one time you need to keep your mouth shut, and again, I'll let you off of it this time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I can imagine. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, and whatever else you want to call yourself,
don't listen to him.
he is learning the lyrics just for this one song. Anything
Lies.
you want to say?
Absolute lies. It's a fabrication.
Are you really?
It glows. This is definitely a conspiracy by the Alpha Centauri. It's never happened.
Yeah, we have a guy over here called David Icke. He would definitely like to have a little chat with you. Okay. Just saying.
Did I say Alpha Centauri?
Yes, you did.
Son of a bitch.
And you swore.
Well,
you don't want to know. We was 10 seconds out and you swore.
Well, I got close.
Busted. All right. Let yourself go. It's now 5.
Okay, so before we really get into the major topic of today's stream, I do have a question because I find this very strange, and I've seen this come up in regards to Trump or like my Second Amendment rights and this and that. What's up with the obsession about like, oh, Trump's not gonna sleep with you, or oh, you want a gun, you must have a small dick. It's like, what is up with you guys tying like political and personal freedoms into like sexual innuendo? Like,
I can
I
answer
don't
that,
I don't see
actually.
this I don't see this coming from like I don't see this coming from moderates. I don't see this coming from independents. I don't see this coming from the right. I don't see this coming from MAGA. I only see it coming from a very specific group of people. And it's like, why is everything sexual to you guys? Like, or gals or whatever else you want to call yourself. Like, what is the obsession with sex? Like, are like Pornhub's a thing, you can go like get rid of some of that tension for free. Like, I don't see how you view this as like some sort of like own or an argument. It's like, no, dude, you just look juvenile. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
And just so everyone knows, if you do go to Pornhub, make sure you look at the Memes of Destruction's channel. It's interesting.
Oh god, is
Now,
he still on Pornhub?
yeah,
Oh, that glorious bastard.
you got giving points for that. And in answer, okay, it's actually a denigration. They're trying to make you feel bad about these things, even though, quite simply, if you do feel bad about them, you most definitely need to go back to junior school. And yes, I said junior school, not even high school.
Okay, so it's not just me. It's like, again, like this is such a juvenile argument. Like, oh, Trump's not going to sleep with you, right? Like, yeah, I don't want to sleep with the 70-year-old former president of the United States. I want the border to be secured, and I want my gas prices to go below $2. Like, what the fuck are you on about?
Yep, yep. A good way of looking at it is this, okay? Just remember back to your school days. I realise they're 10 million years ago for you, but you like so and so. You must fancy them. Now tell me you did not hear those words as a kid.
I
I know
if
I
I
did.
said I didn't, I'd be lying.
Hmm.
But I mean, see, you're right. It's very juvenile. So I'm glad it's not just me, but just once or twice, yeah, I kind of expect that sort of behavior from, Twitter, social media, whatever.
Yeah,
But it's a consistent thing. It's like
yeah.
I I I don't I don't want to believe that grown ass adults who claim they're educated or are well informed and are engaging in political discourse are this emotionally and mentally stunted. But I don't really have an argument to say they aren't, considering how they engage in said political discourse.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah, Razor Fist put out a tweet. I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday, but he said if you want to see something along the lines, if you want to see the like paint stripping stupidity of the population at large, try making a sarcastic tweet. He kind of has a point.
He does. He
It's like,
does.
he's not wrong. And straight to smell. What's up?
Oh, Shirati just sent me a message. I'm to tell Doku about OnlyFans versus porn actors and actresses are being put on the terrorist watch list. Have you heard about that?
Uh, I saw someone talking about OnlyFans, but no, I have not heard about this.
Oh yes, apparently the OnlyFans people have been putting the porn actors and actresses on the terrorist watch list, so as they get more people watching them than going to the professionals.
Oh, I I don't even know what to say about that.
And Shirati also said another thing. Are you looking at your screen? Because I'm just going to, so as everyone can see it. You know, she's not wrong. I assume you do plan to talk about the lovely two French gentlemen and their pet dog.
I wasn't planning on it, but you know what? That's a decent segue, so why not? Because this should this should be a fairly quick and straightforward and to the point topic of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and speak of the devil, look at memes showing up right on
Yeah.
cue.
Just after I boosted his channel, technically.
But yeah, so there were
Don't laugh.
I'm not I'm not laughing. So there were two French gentlemen, romantically involved, who have a pet canine.
Yes, this is true.
Well, this pet canine of theirs has contracted monkeypox. And in case anybody is wondering, uh, there were apparently was it either blisters or ulcers on the anus of said pet canine. So I will leave you to put two and two together to determine how said pet could have contracted monkeypox. I don't think it should be that difficult.
Yeah.
Any comments on that one, Jensen?
Yeah, actually, I've got the perfect comment, and it actually excuses everything they do. Are you ready? Prepare yourself. They're French. There you go. I have just detailed everything that needs to be said. They're French. No, Sean. No, Sean. It would have to be a really, really, really big dog if it was one of the French guys.
Oh, goodness.
Or actually, thinking about it, as it's Chenk, it'd probably have to be a Chihuahua. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, is there really anything else to say? Like, can you guys just, I don't know, not engage in intercourse with your pets to slow the spread of monkeypox? It'll only take 2 years.
Yeah.
Just saying. They're gonna shut down small businesses and make you wear a mask for 2 years. You can at least engage in, I don't know, not doing that with animals. Yeah, just a thought.
Yeah, hold it. Something has come up. I need to mention this. In fact, I'm actually going to show it. From Susan. We need to go back to public stocks and dunking. Are you trying to suggest that you would enjoy throwing rotten fruit at people trapped? How could you say this? I would absolutely love every freaking second of it, and so would you, wouldn't you, mate?
If I said I wouldn't, I'd be lying.
I mean, can you imagine, and nauseating as this concept is, Nancy Pelosi standing 10 foot away from you and you have a bag full of rotten tomatoes?
Honestly, she'd probably just wait for them to ferment and get drunk off of it.
Ouch. Actually, Sean's correct. It would make the city money. He's not wrong there.
That's actually a valid point.
Yeah. There you go. That's how the Democrats fix their problems. Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
if all the rich people are leaving and they're running out of tax revenue, then yes, stockades will actually pay-per-view stockades, and it also gets rid of all the produce that's gone rotten. Wow, that's actually not a bad idea. Holy shit.
Here's the problem. The Democrats will take it up and use it to try and stone the living hell out of white men.
Yeah, well, they've kind of already advocated for that type of stuff anyways, so yeah, welcome to another day that ends in Y.
Dude, they've advocated quite literally the execution of white men.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it, especially like when it comes to like very far extremist groups like the Black Hebrew Israelites. It's like, here's a whip, self-flagellate yourself in front of the street for everybody to see, and like, God, can you believe that if you walk past somebody randomly on the street, you need to bow down and kiss my boot because your ancestors did a thing that was bad. To be like, no, bro, fuck off. Like, but people actually do it. Like, what the hell? Like,
wait, dude. Government officials on both sides of the pond have done this, so it's cool.
Oh, it's pathetic. It's so fucking pathetic.
Yeah. Oh well. I assume you heard about. I found out I actually had the town wrong. It's not Pennsylvania. It's Minnesota. That's planning that if they fire anybody in any of the workplaces, they're going to be replacing them with black people, white people out first.
Oh yeah, no, what? So it was going to be a fire the white people first, which
Yep.
that's illegal. That goes against the Constitution and one of its amendments. That's what you
Haven't
guys
you
fought for.
haven't you realised yet? Okay, that silly little piece of paper means bugger all in this modern world, mate. I am so sorry for you. I really am, but that's actually how it is.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. We can have an executive order or a law get turned over by the Supreme Court and say this is unconstitutional, and a week later, yeah, Potato in Chief just comes in and signs the law doing the exact same thing. It's like, oh, it's executive order. It's like, okay, so it doesn't mean shit. It's just going to go back to the Supreme Court, get overturned. We're just going to be stuck in this never-ending loop of unconstitutional executive order, anyways. Unconstitutional overturned executive order, anyways. Like, thank you for wasting my money. It, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. The fact that the government has absolutely no regard for the rule of law and will just do whatever the hell it wants, regardless, it should piss you off because at the end of the day, they're wasting your money.
Oh yeah.
This is not about winning political points. If you're working and you're paying taxes, which if you buy a stick of gum from the gas station and it's not from, money given to you by the government that came from somebody else, ultimately at the end of the day, you're paying money so that they can waste your money. This should piss you off.
I'm laughing, but it's not a good thing. Disturbing is what it is.
That's the thing. They're not only wasting your money,
Mm-hmm.
all those taxes that you pay, they're getting their paycheck for that too.
Oh, of
So
course they are.
and then now they also use, especially people in certain positions, they'll then use that and take your money and turn around and invest it using insider trading information or their ability as a politician to basically act as a market maker to then profit and enrich themselves off of your dollar.
Matt has suggested a new form of currency. I'm running out of money. I hope they accept a middle finger instead. Don't make jokes about that dude, or someone will come round with a cigar clipper and a smile on his face. Just warning you, mate. I know how it was done in London back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Okay?
Oh, and speaking of this, since we're on this topic of politicians being insider traders and acting as market makers, do you want to know why they actually can't go after Nancy Pelosi?
Because it's a husband doing it?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Go on. I'll buy it.
A lot of people actually don't realize this. She is
Oh.
actually recused from the same standards as your standard House member because she's the Speaker. The Senate minority and majority leaders and the House Speaker and also House majority and minority leaders have different rules and standards applied to them. They can actually trade stocks based on the information and the laws they make, and it's not illegal.
I bet they never wrote that themselves. I mean, writing a law so to allow you to break the law. What government would ever? Oh dear.
There was actually so this all stems from well, it doesn't stem from this, but it was exemplified. There was a guy in West Virginia. I forget if he was a House member or a Senate member, but he would speed down highways in West Virginia doing like 90, 100 miles an hour and get pulled over by state police or local police. And he carried a pocket constitution with him, like a pocket copy of the Constitution. And when the
Yeah.
cops tried to detain him, he'd pull it out and say, "You actually can't detain me because I'm a member of Congress." And the logic behind making that law was maybe he's going that fast because he has to get to a certain area and do something, from a diplomatic or legal standpoint, and is time sensitive, so therefore you can't detain him. Yeah, no, he could just do whatever the fuck he wants.
Okay. All right. Do you actually know which part of the Constitution this is? This is something you know about.
I don't know the exact where it's described in the Constitution, but I do know the story of this because I remember hearing about it. But someone brought it up, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's
Because
actually how this works." Our government politicians have basically made laws for themselves that recuse themselves from the laws that everybody else has to abide by.
I don't even know what to say. Yeah. Well, I have said it before, and I will say it again, and I'm going to say it now. And if YouTube etc. don't like it, well, tough. Um, what's it like living in a world that just doesn't actually care about its civilians anymore? This is why I say this is not the world I went to war to protect. Something went wrong. I went dimensional to the wrong place. I don't know, and somehow I'm here. Can I go back now, please?
I mean, do you want the honest answer?
You believe me?
Uh, depressing.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that could be said about it. It's depressing.
yeah,
I We live in a world where if I walk outside and step off of my driveway and into the public street, up into the public street,
yep.
and I'm holding a beer, I can be arrested for public intoxication. But Nancy
Wow.
Pelosi's husband can, get arrested for a DUI, have absolutely nothing happen to him. Nancy Pelosi can engage in insider trading. Alec Baldwin can fucking shoot somebody and have nothing happen to him. But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
One
I,
sec.
I
One
get
sec.
arrested for holding a beer on a sidewalk.
Yeah. One sec. Have you heard anything about that Alec Baldwin shooting anyone recently? Because I know I bloody ain't.
Actually, yeah, I believe it was
Oh.
last week. A judge
Oh.
ruled that yes, he did pull the trigger. Now let's see if he goes to jail because I'll bet you 10 fucking bucks he doesn't.
Oh hell no. Ah. According to SSM, you need your pocket bill of rights.
You
He's
know,
not.
I
He's not
actually
wrong.
I actually should get one, and I'll just put a like little post-it note, and I'll just have them color coordinated for anything I need.
You know what you could do? You get the pocket bill of rights, take off the outer folder of it, and put it across the Ferengi laws of acquisition, and they're not actually that wrong.
You know, you have a
Yeah,
valid point.
just think about this for a moment. You look at the Ferengi rules of acquisition; they're not actually that wrong, are
No, they're actually not. And, speaking about that and double standards,
they?
I'm very tempted. Well, if I lived in if my state was a little bit different as it stands right now, I would be very tempted to claim that I am not properly represented, and therefore, for the state to try to tax me and use my tax dollars to support things that I fundamentally do not agree with is, by definition, taxation without representation. And therefore, if I don't get a tax credit, I should be recused from paying my taxes completely.
Didn't your country have a thing about taxation without representation? I think they had a thing. I can't remember if it was important or not.
Yeah, we're a bit testy about that.
No, 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 no. You was a bit testy. Nowadays, you appear to be okay with it, or at least that's how it appears.
Yeah, that sentiment is shifting very quickly, and I'll just go ahead and say what I've been saying, and I've been trying to coin this term and get more people to use it. It's not the Internal Revenue Service; it's the Internal Racketeering Service. And if you don't believe me, go look up the definition of racketeering because that's exactly what the fuck it is.
That's kind of fair. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and different country, different laws. I understand all this, but you IRS agents turn up at the door. You've got to let us in. No, if he pulls a gun on you, then he's breaking the law.
Technically, yes.
Unless he has a police officer or member of the FBI or something akin to this, including Secret Service, yada yada yada, he has about as much rights as you do to go into your neighbour's house. In fact, probably less because you may well get on with your neighbours.
No, not even then. They actually need a warrant. It needs to be uh signed by a judge and adjudicated. So no,
Uh,
they can't even do that.
hold there, and again, different country. Is it possible that in your country that they're not actually allowed to enter a place where they suspect a crime may have occurred? Because over here
Well,
they are.
well,
Notice,
why do you think we hate the idea of red flag laws so much?
I'll take that as a yes then. Okay.
Technically, no, they don't have that right. But again, all they have to do is, go knock on the house of a neighbor and be like, is that person suspicious or do you think they're a threat? And, do it like 10 or 20 times and you'll get somebody who's intimidated enough to say yes. And then therefore be like, oh, red flag law. Like, Yeah, again, no. Your answer should be do you have a warrant? If the answer is no, get off my property.
Wow, your cops are positively reasonable. Over here, one turns to the other and says, "Do you hear a scream? Yeah, all right, let's go."
Again, this
By the way, there was no, for obvious reasons, no screaming necessary. But all it takes is two coppers, or sorry, two officials of any form, to actually agree with each other that they heard a sound that could have well have been a scream. It's not their fault if it happened to have been a fox. Oh look, the fox must have escaped.
now
Meanwhile, they've booted your door in. Go
I'm not saying that doesn't happen,
on.
and it probably has a lot more than we're probably aware of.
hmm
But I will say it definitely happens a lot less after we gave in to the left's demands that police have to wear body cams.
Yeah, but they're still allowed to turn off their body cams, which is kind of fascinating.
Yeah, well, let's be honest, that was never really going to work to begin with in the first place.
No.
It and in the cases where they actually can't turn off the body cams, crime rates have actually gone down, and now they want to get rid of the body cams.
Of course, because you don't want they don't want the police seen actually doing half the things they English that they do.
Yeah, kind of funny how that works, isn't it? It's almost like when people commit crimes, they get in trouble. Maybe
no, no,
it's maybe
no,
we
no.
don't have a bunch of Gestapo running around just hunting down people for, I don't know, waving a certain flag or having the wrong skin color. Maybe there's actually a little bit more nuance to this conversation, but
I would
God
like to
forbid.
modify your words. You said that they do get in trouble. I would like to modify it to they should get in trouble. Big
Well,
difference.
yeah, and most of the time they do, but I don't know if you raise enough of a stink, it or also depending on where you live, because I don't know, apparently in San Francisco, as long as you steal only $999.99 worth of stuff, then it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's classic that. Technically, if you rob a bank, all you have to do is throw back in 1 cent. As long as you've taken a grand, they can't touch you. Work that one out.
I
Um,
wish I
just out
could.
one thing, okay, just want to say. I mean, I realise some of our audience may be absolutely swimming in money to the degree that they are literally doing their impression of Scrooge McDuck, but $1,000, and I realise your country, uh, $1,000 actually nowhere near 1,000 for us, but $1,000 is still a lot of money, isn't it?
I'm
It is
not
to me.
really.
Oh, it is to me.
I mean, it's not anything to shake a stick at. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, like $1,000. Like, okay, what are you gonna do with $1,000? Like, and that's yeah, it might cover like rent and some groceries if you live in a relatively modest area that's somewhat cheap. But I can tell you this much, like rent for me where I live, and to be fair, I live in one of the more expensive areas of the country, but just like a one-bedroom apartment is like $2,300 a month. So like a thousand
Oh,
bucks, $1,000 ain't shit.
actually, no. Based on those numbers, you're right. Over here, 1,000 is actually pretty tasty. I mean, I realise I might be destroying this strange illusion that you believe that all Englishmen live in Hogwarts and fly around in jetpacks and all that sort of rubbish, but I've only ever seen over $1,000 twice in my life. Hey,
And
Sixer.
and I'll put it to you this way, Jensen. A meal at like I don't know, like a red. Do you know like what a Red Robin or
I've
oh
heard of.
okay, so like Red Robin or Applebee's or
Yeah,
you know, Longhorn Steakhouse, like you're looking at spending like $20-$30 on a meal for just one person. And that's not including like if you're gonna buy booze.
yeah, that's about
So
fair.
so like what's $1,000? I mean, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, yeah, that's $100. Okay, that's 10 days worth of food at a you know sit-in but still lower end restaurant, right?
Fair.
So yeah, it's 10 days worth of food. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not insignificant, but it's not like you're walking away with enough money to buy a car or something.
No, fair point. Fair point. All right, I accept that. Anyway, you had some things you wanted to say about the universe as a whole. So please don't let me interrupt.
Okay, yeah, let's get into the main topic of conversation because this has kind of been annoying me over the past couple of days. I've seen some people talk about it, but not nearly in the extent that people should be talking about this. Granted, it's only been this narrative's only really entered the news cycle in the past couple of days. But now, if you call out corruption, it, whether it's coming from the left or the right or what have you, but God forbid you call it corruption, especially if it involves the federal government or a federal agency, because now it's an extremist position. It's like, wait, so me calling out corruption from people who have way more authority and way more power than I do, me calling out their corrupt bullshit makes me the extremist? That's no. That is a bunch of absolute horseshit that the media is trying to push into the public narrative to try to demonize anybody who sees the nonsense that's going on right now because they don't want you to listen to it. They don't want you to be aware of it. You just have to be a bootlicker. Just don't criticize the establishment. The establishment's doing this all for your own good. Nothing to see here. No, we can't call out corruption from corrupt people because telling people the truth is now extremism, and extremism is bad. And because the
Pause.
media, let me finish real quick.
Go on.
Because now that the media says that this is extremism is a bad thing, then that now gives the government agencies that have all this power that you don't have to now go after you because you're clearly an extremist because the mainstream media says you're an extremist for calling out the corrupt federal agencies for being corrupt. You're starting to see how this fucking merry-go-round works.
It's good, isn't it? Sixer has said he'll be needing you to lend him your voice for a recording. I don't know. Maybe he's thinking of ripping out your vocal cords. It's anyone's guess.
Oh well, as long as I don't have to sing, then yeah, sure. Damn it! I didn't even think about it before. Oh, son of a bitch! All right, fine.
You realise
not this stream, but the next time.
We're up to 2 now.
Oh god, so they're stacking. It's cumulative. All right, great.
Oh, good God! Of course it is. Carry on.
Why did I let you make the rules? Fine. But yeah, it's Sixer. Just get in touch with Jensen or get in touch with me on Discord. Let me know what you need. I'll do whatever I can to help you out, dude. But yeah, no, this is absolutely wild. I haven't seen people really call this out for what it actually is, and I find this. The reason I want to talk about it is because it's actually a lot more nefarious and a lot more concerning than people are giving it credit for. Corrupt government agency does thing that's clearly corrupt. You criticize corrupt thing for being blatantly and obviously corrupt. Media says criticizing corrupt agency for doing corrupt thing is a form of extremism, and then corrupt agency takes claim of extremism to then turn around and use that claim against you to then investigate you and do more corrupt thing. Like, for all the people who like to throw around the term fascist, do you not see how this is exactly how fucking fascist countries and communist countries as well, any authoritarian country, it doesn't matter if it's communist, fascist, or I don't know, pull another word out of your ass. It doesn't really fucking matter. Any authoritarian regime always plays this type of game. Propaganda media claims certain group of people who are doing said thing are a threat to our democracy or a threat to our country or domestic terrorist or extremist. And then that gives the government agencies some degree of credibility, at least amongst the don't pay attention, lemming sheep, 9 to 5. Oh, look, shiny colors. Oh, yeah, they must be extremists because, the guy in the suit with the mouth and the face and talking about the thing on the TV said they are, so they must therefore be the thing. They then use that as a pretext to go and then silence opposition. Like, this has happened multiple times throughout history.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated of a concept. It's actually very straightforward. What's more disturbing is how people are too fucking daft to actually put 2 and 2 together and realize, yeah, this is all a pretext to silence political opposition. and it's happening right in front of your face, and yet you have these idiots sitting there going, well, no, man, it's the FBI is infallible. They can't do anything wrong. And CNN said that these are extremists and detective terrorists, so the FBI must go after them because they're bad and they're criticizing the FBI. It's like, bro, are you that fucking dumb? Like, you realize they'll come after you next, right? Like, you are the useful idiot. You're giving them the pretext to come after anybody that they think is a threat to their power. I find this mind-boggling. Not only is it mind-boggling, it's disturbing that people are actually going along with this narrative. It's like, do you not see, like, not only is this blatantly unconstitutional, not only is this terrifying, not only does this lead to political prisoners, like, this is how you end up with Mao Zedong's China. And it won't just be the FBI or institutions. They can weaponize the public against you. That's basically what happened in the Antifa and BLM riots. It's nothing more than the struggle sessions that happened under Mao Zedong's China, where they get a bunch of uppity students to literally beat professors to death on a stage using belt buckles because they're teaching about Darwinism.
One thing before you go any further, don't you have to pay more for that on Pornhub?
If you want to know where the term struggle session came from, it's actually from Mao Zedong's China.
Ah, I didn't realize that. Okay, shut up.
Yeah, it's actually from Mao Zedong's China back in academia. It was during like high school and college. They would have students that were part of the Red Guard, the Communist Revolutionaries. They would take teachers that were teaching like Western philosophy or books from the West that went against the communist ideology, and they bring them up on stage and have them try to answer for themselves or denounce what they've been taught or been trying to teach to students. And if they didn't, they would literally take like belt buckles and beat them on stage. A lot of times they would beat professors to death.
Damn.
But again, look at what's happening in colleges and institutions in the West right now. It's the same thing, except instead of using actual physical force, because that would have us up in arms, quite literally. Instead, they use social intimidation and ostracization to achieve essentially the same effect. Rather than beat you to death, they just completely publicly ostracize you. But it's the same end result. You've been ostracized from society and you can no longer afford to feed yourself, so you might as well be dead.
According to SSM, anything Japan as well. Does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah, the Japanese. Well, that actually is very important because during post World War I and during World War II, when Japan was trying to basically conquer China, the Communist Party was fighting against Japan, and the Manchurian government at the time was not only trying to keep the country from not falling into communist hands, but also from falling into imperialist Japanese hands. So basically, they were fighting a war on two fronts within their own country. So yeah, if you started talking about anything remotely positive about Japan, yeah, the communists would beat you to death too. So,
before you carry on, I also sent you another thing on Discord to get ready to put up. I think you're going to absolutely piss yourself laughing when you see it.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. I honestly, that first one is good. That second one is less than subtle. Yep, he found it. All right. Let's actually get rid of that first picture right now. Are you ready to put? Not yet, but are you ready to put it up, Doku? The first picture. You know which one I mean.
Yes, give me a moment.
Yep. Don't worry. Ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else you want to call yourself, I have found the evidence that is needed in connecting Donald Trump to Russian collusion. I realize that they've been searching for this forever, and I do mean literally forever. But due to my superior skills at finding out things, hopefully Doku is actually going to have the picture ready to rock and roll sometime before we dive on. There we go. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture proving Russian collusion. There you go. Right there. Russian collusion. You didn't believe me, but it's true.
You just love to see it, don't you?
It just makes me feel all warm inside. Yeah, okay, that'll do. I can only deal with that for a few moments.
Yeah, okay, same here. Thank God.
But see, all this rubbish that the left have been, been going on about, I have the proof for them. All they need to do is contact me. Nice and easy. I don't see what the issue is. Do you?
No, and if we're just gonna make shit up, then you might as well.
I agree with Matt. Irrefutable proof. It really is. I mean, there is the pictures there. What else do you need? It's not like anybody would ever, oh, I don't know, chop off the head of people and put it onto others so as they could use it. I mean, honestly, what kind of person would do that? Only a totally untrustworthy and, oh, that's right, we're talking about the left, aren't we? Well, yes. So when Doku is able to, please get the next image ready, just because it makes me chuckle. And I would like, although Shirati isn't actually here for this, I would like to give her all props for sending this to me. Do let me know once you're ready, Doku.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just enjoy this one.
I think we should just leave that one up for the
So do
however.
I.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be here too much longer. But yeah, we should just leave that one up for the rest of the show because it's just way too appropriate.
Doesn't it actually fit the conversation you want to have, though? Honestly. I mean, we're talking about the honesty of government things. We're talking about the FBI. I've got to be honest with you. If I actually found out Elon Musk had actually offered that, I think I would literally fall on the floor laughing my ass off. What about you? Doku. Doku. Okay, Doku died. He's obviously laughed himself to death at this mental image. Anything? Are you back? Okay, let's assume Doku's gone and will probably return at some point.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm back now.
Hello. Yeah, I've made suggestion that you're dying of laughter at this mental image. And tell me you don't agree, mate, that if Elon actually had done this, in all truth, you would piss yourself laughing, wouldn't you?
Oh, it would be one of the most glorious owns possible.
It absolutely beats the Twitter thing. I mean, it utterly beats Twitter. Oh, I really wanted to do it now. I really do. Oh, that would be so funny. Matt, you're charging far too much for that, mate.
Oh, to be fair, the only way that would get better is if he decides to buy it and then sell it to 4chan.
Oh, that's dirty. I like it.
You're damn right.
Anyway, back to what you were saying. We'll leave that there for people to laugh at.
Yeah, no, I think I kind of made my point about this roundabout game that's going on in regards to the relationship that the federal government has with the mainstream media and fabricating, and I do mean fabricating very explicitly, narratives to essentially put targets on political opposition so that it gives some degree of credibility or reasoning to then, well, target them for persecution. Again, this is something you see out of authoritarian countries run by despots. But no one's talking about this. I don't know why. Like, is it just me, or can anybody else see how incredibly dangerous this is?
One moment. Think from Loafer Sheffield here. Freaky fact. Clarice Starling eloped with Hannibal Lecter in the book Disillusioned with the FBI. How about that for a mental image?
Yeah, it's not the worst.
No, it's not, is it? And the thing is, I actually could see it, oddly enough.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not the worst.
Let's be honest. I can't imagine them ever finding an actor to do it anything akin to Hopkins, can you?
No, not at least not off the top of my head.
Nah. It would be hard bloody work to find. He had a something that just suggested, I am going to screw with the FBI because it's funny and I've got nothing better to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, you said it better than I could, so I can't really add on to that.
Sorry, that is how it comes across to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Uh, well, if you're asking me, no, I agree. So,
Fair, yeah. Anyway, sorry about interrupting you. I just wanted to tell you that.
oh no, you didn't interrupt me. Actually, my point was actually that straightforward. It's uh, as Matt said, it's narrative building. One, the propaganda arm of the totalitarian party feeds off of the other, and then the totalitarian party uses what's said by the propaganda arm as a pretext to then exert force against whoever is against the party. It's
I'm going to
classic
interrupt you again.
1984 shit.
Going to interrupt you again. Hot retarded chicks. Why would Putin pay for something that he already owns? I'm actually curious if there is a reason. Do let me know. Because let's be honest, it's the left that owns the FBI. It's the left that are owned by the Russians. So all this crap about Russian collusion, there was none because the only people colluding were the left.
Well, to be fair, the FBI even came out and said, like, yeah, there was none. It's like, yeah, we know because you guys knew from the beginning. You just wasted, 2 years worth of tax dollars to investigate questionable information, and I'm being generous by saying questionable. But yeah, you wasted 2 years worth of tax dollars investigating basically a farce that you knew was most likely a farce, and probably a good amount of people inside the FBI knew it was a farce, but went ahead and went with it anyways. Because if they didn't, well, they were probably going to end up on the chopping block. Either,
Isn't it a good job the FBI didn't spend much money to do this?
yeah, about that.
Thank you, SSM. That's actually very nice of you. He says I have diplomatic immunity. I can insult the FBI at any time.
That's actually a valid point.
It would be if they actually obeyed the rules of such things, but hey, we have no evidence to suggest that they don't.
Well, to be fair though, you live in a Five Eyes country, so you might not have as much freedom as you think.
Yeah,
Also,
screw it.
your country arrests people for other people getting offended over tweets.
Yeah, you guys might actually want to watch for that. That will not may, not could, will occur in your country soon, as long as you're, it could just. I expect it to happen in your country, and sooner rather than later.
No, it's moving in that direction easily. I mean, that's the whole reason behind trying to drum up this narrative is, oh, you said something on social media that's criticizing a certain government agency. You therefore must be an extremist. Same way that, parents not wanting random strangers talking to their 8-year-old kids about sexual topics makes them domestic terrorists.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, whatever happened to the days of you consider basically little Johnny has some dude walk up to him, hey little Johnny, let's talk about sex. The parents would pull out a shotgun and blow his head off.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're saying back in the day, we're only talking like the 70s and 80s here. Your man would do his thing. Little Johnny would go home, speak to mummy. Mummy would scream at daddy. Daddy would go out, and there'd be a single shotgun blast.
Yeah.
And everybody in town were all looking in the other direction and didn't see a thing.
Yeah, but now if you don't want the teachers and the school boards talking to little Jimmy and little Susie about, what's between their legs and maybe they should have a surgery because, mommy and daddy might not like it, but I'm here for you because I'm a teacher and these are my kids and we're inclusive here. So maybe you need to be educated about these sexual topics, despite the fact that, you haven't gone through puberty and I'm not your biological parents, but your parents are just bigoted and maybe a racist and maybe a domestic terrorist extremist. So I need to tell you why, I don't know, maybe chopping off one of your members or appendages and then having it turned inside out is actually good for you.
You mispronounced it, by the way. It's not just my children, it's my children. Remember, that is how a lot of the teachers think of this. These children no longer belongs to the people that actually spawned them. They belong to the teachers. They're mine. Mine, I tell you. Sorry.
Yeah, they belong to the state in their mind.
Yeah. Disturbing, isn't it?
Very.
Ah.
And yes, the teachers and the school boards will actually weaponize child protective services against parents because, again, I don't want random strangers talking to my prepubescent kids about sexual topics is now somehow a controversial stance.
Matt has said the perfect description. It's peaceful medical castration.
Yeah, that I fully expect to actually see that in the news cycle at some point in my lifetime.
In all fairness, if they said it was fiery but peaceful, there's a few questions we need to ask. Just suggesting, especially if they're French and they bring a dog with them.
Uh,
What? That was the noise the dog made, from what I heard. That was also the. Sorry, I'll shut up.
David Jensen. Oh, okay. So I've got about 9 minutes before I got to head off.
No worries, mate.
Let's move on from this topic because we've
Bit like they left been beaten to death. Yeah.
I was gonna say it feels like we're beating a dead horse, and then I realized
I know.
there's a there considering the topic, there's a lot of jokes to be made there.
Wow. Hey, Hyper. Long time, man.
Oh, what's up, Hyper? Also, what's up, TC? And Loafer, I don't know if I saw you, but hello. So let's just laugh at one more thing before we have to head off.
Okay. What you got?
Did you see the primary election in Wyoming with Liz Cheney?
Oh, that.
Oh boy.
Hey,
I've seen some blowouts.
She just must be really loved by the people. That's all I can say.
Oh yeah, they really, really love her. Just maybe not for the reasons that she thinks.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely hilarious. To let people know, Liz, honestly, I'm not a traitor. Honestly, I'm not. Oh, damn, I'm a traitor. Has actually been removed from where was she? Congress, Senate, which one?
I think she was House.
Well,
She was House.
okay, look, there we go. She's been booted out, which good. Quite simply, if you're going to turn your back on your people the same way she did, I think they were actually nice. And before you use the excuse but she was holding up to her personal beliefs. Look how much personal beliefs mean nowadays. If you don't believe what you're told to believe, you're not allowed personal beliefs. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And I've talked to a few conservatives about this, and obviously I tend to be more conservative leaning, but I'm not a GOP Republican or anything like that. And if anything, I guess I'm more libertarian, but that's neither here nor there. I've seen a lot of people say like, but Liz was, such a staunch conservative for, so many years. She was pro-life and pro freedom of speech and pro-gun, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, and she's sided with pro-abortion, anti-gun, pro-censorship Democrats. What does that tell you about Liz Cheney?
Yep.
Like, you can sit there and say she's a Republican with values that stands up to her beliefs and this and that. It's like, no, she's fucking not, dude. If you believe that, I'm sorry, you're not paying the fuck attention. Liz Cheney was never a fucking valued and well-measured Republican. She was just doing whatever she had to in order to advance her career, and that's all it fucking was.
Yeah. By the way, from Matt, conservatives are far too left for me. He's not necessarily that far wrong with that statement.
Well, the vast majority of conservatives are still on the same side of the fucking uniparty, and they're fucking authoritarians and totalitarians. And to them, I say, suck my uh Matt Black barrel, because that's what I sexually identify of as the day. And if you say that's a threat, then you're discriminating against me. Two can play at that game.
Yeah. Oh, apparently that there was a thing a while ago where a person actually tried the whole "I'm not white, I'm black" and tried to have it air quotes legal. And no, I don't mean that wench that pretended she was black, which still tickles me. I think you know the one I mean, don't you?
Oh, who was that? Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
No, no, no. There was some woman. She basically done a talcum X. She put on lots and lots of makeup and had her hair braided. Does that help?
Yeah, she was the one with like the curly hair and everything. Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Okay, if that was the name, cool. No, apparently some bod tried to claim that he was black, and there was this sort of pause. Then it went to the court, and the court refused to actually, you know, allow it purely because the moment you do that, then everybody is going to be black. At that point, there cannot be any more, you know, questioning such things. After all, I'm trans black. What's wrong with that?
Welcome to the slippery slope of redefining words.
Yeah, you change the word sucker, you suffer.
Well, at this point in time, it's not even that we're redefining words. We're just for the party of trust the science. We're denying like actual science. Like, good job, guys. Like, it's fascinating. It really is. If I could be an alien species and just sit back and watch unencumbered, this would be both the most entertaining soap opera that I've ever seen, and also the most fascinating scientific study of all time. Like just watching, let's just say the past 30 years, ever since about 1990 up until today.
Hmm.
Like, watch society go from somewhat reasonable to completely ignoring biology, and if you try to point out the actual science of biology, you're a bigot, but also trust the science. It's just I don't even know what to say. I can't even be upset anymore, to be honest. I can only just point and laugh because it's so absurd.
Yep. As Hyper puts it, trust the science but ignore basic biology. And don't forget, his most laud and powerful, Fauci, did say you should trust the science.
Oh, don't you just did you see the new medical guidelines that came out just a few days ago?
I don't. No, I didn't, but go on. I'm bracing myself up how bad it could be.
Oh, so apparently, when it comes to wearing masks and social distancing and the efficacy of vaccines, well, we were thinking about it the wrong way.
Oh, God.
So, in other words, just without going into a long tirade, yeah, the people that were saying the vaccines aren't nearly as effective as they're claiming they are, which also is shown by the Pfizer documents that Pfizer didn't want to release but had to release anyways by court order. Uh, also said the same thing. They're not nearly as effective as they claimed. The whole social distancing and wearing masks not nearly as effective as they claimed, and also the big the big nail in the coffin. People who actually have contracted COVID and actually survived it have a built-in natural immunity that is likely just as effective, if not more effective, than people who've been vaccinated. So yeah, conspiracy theories, yeah, they were correct. But hey,
Wow.
at least they managed to coerce, I don't know, whatever percentage of the population and engaging in experimental gene therapy, because that's what it is. It's not even a fucking, at least two of them weren't even a traditional vaccine. It was basically experimental gene therapy because that's what mRNA, quote, quote, vaccines actually are. It's not even an actual vaccine. Go ask any doctor who, you know, has some degree of integrity and ask them what this means. It's gene therapy.
Yeah.
That's Vaccines are not gene therapy. They're two completely different fucking things. It's not introducing a benign virus into your system so your body builds up antibodies to it. It's literally forcing the mRNA to alter in response to an outside stimuli. That's gene therapy, not a vaccine. But
Time to get us banned. You do know that the guy that actually created the whole RNA thing actually admitted that it wouldn't work, and apparently people are getting banned from YouTube for saying that. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh no, YouTube might ban me. How will I cope?
hey,
Whatever.
I'm just saying what the fucking inventor of mRNA gene therapy said, and also I'm just saying what the CDC and Pfizer have both admitted. So if YouTube has a problem with it, take it up with the CDC and Pfizer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well.
Anyways, I
We've
think that's about an hour, right?
Yep, we've hit an hour almost exactly. So excellent timing, sir. Is there any last thing you would like to say to the lovely people that are bored enough to listen to our driveling?
You know, the only thing I have to say is buckle on tight, boys and girls, because it's only going to get worse from here.
Fair point. I can't really disagree with you there. All right. Well, in that case, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else you want to call yourself, I don't care. We're going to be buggering off now. Perhaps we'll do another one another time soon. Perhaps we won't. Who knows? Let's be fair. Who cares? You're either going to enjoy what we say or you won't. And hopefully, if you don't enjoy it, you'll tell a leftist and they can get pissed off even more. Does that sound about right?
Well, to be fair, if you don't hear from at least me and maybe Jensen, I don't know. We live in two different countries, but it seems like we're going down the same authoritarian shithole.
Oh, yes.
If you don't hear from either of us, if I'm not dead, I'll save you a seat at the cafeteria table in the gulag.
Okay. For me, if I do get killed, it was the FBI. I'm just saying it now. The FBI murdered me. And goodbye, everybody. Bye bye.